Joining Bud Light in the monetary pit of pride, Target has released its sales figures, and they are down for the first time in 6 years. Congratulations, I suppose. Target was one of the big winners from the whole COVID thing, as a lot of people bought a lot of things, especially from their online stores, fearing that they would, never be allowed out of their houses ever again. Now that that is over, however, Target also elected to try and sell Pride-targeted merchandise and clothing and various accessories, etc., including bathing suits, to children. This turned out to not be quite the W that Target expected it to be. Which, we talk a lot about the Dylan Mulvaney thing, and how the marketing executives there must have just apocalyptically misread absolutely everything about the market they were wading into. But honestly, I feel as if transgender swimming suits marketed at kids might, if anything, be an even larger screw-up. As Target also have a few other problems on hand as well. Now, this is the most negative article I could find on this. CNN, of course, is trying to claim that all of this is simply because, people are spending more money on vacations, you see. That's why we saw a 5.4% drop in Target sales and a 10% drop online. Now, the 10% online drop, that might actually be explained more by the fact that people are now being able to, go out and purchase things in person rather than online. But the 5% drop in actual store visits and the 4.8% drop in foot traffic can far more easily be explained by the drama than people suddenly going on vacations. Or rather extended ones as well, I imagine. There's also a couple of other small problems as well, like, a 120% increase in theft incidents, including involving violence, threats of violence. Or alternatively, looting, because shoplifting has been legalized now in certain parts of America. 120% increase. Look at that. Okay. To be fair, maybe their incidents were simply just really, really, really low precedingly, and so any increase will look like an enormous spike, but Jesus Christ. I mean, it's hardly a surprise. This is kind of what happened when you legalize theft under a certain level, but oh well, details, eh? So, Pride Month Backlash. Target has been embroiled in the political culture wars over gender and sexual orientation. I suppose that's one way of putting it. Beginning in May, Target also faced a homophobic campaign that went viral on social media over its annual Pride Month collecting clothing. Fueled by far-right personalities, the anti-LGBTQ campaign spread misleading information about the Pride Month products. Oh my, those evil right-wingers, what did they do this time? Well, so, what they were apparently doing here was that they were prominent right-wing activists, Republican political leaders, and conservative media outlets have focused their attention on a woman's swimsuit that was described as tuck-friendly for its ability to conceal male genitalia. Misinformation spread on social media that it was marketed to children, which it was not. Well, see, the problem here is that the specifics around this tuck-friendly swimsuit might indeed be a woman's swimsuit, but, we have the video evidence that kind of, kickstarted all of this, showing all of the Pride merchandise, all of the Pride clothing, etc., in the children's section of Target. Now, call me a bluff old traditionalist, but I think that if you create merchandise and you put it specifically in the children's section of your store, it seems reasonable to assume that you expect children to purchase those products. Crazy, I know, and yet I feel as if it makes a certain degree of sense here and there, And this was in large part what created all of this. And don't get me wrong either, some of the product in the children's section wasn't all just, racial rainbows and stuff like that. That's disgusting enough as you're pushing your political agenda on children, but it was also far more graphic things like, naked people on a t-shirt for little girls, including one which is apparently a big old hairy naked dude, I guess. Which is the they icon, I suppose, the transgender one? Yeah, no. You can claim that this was all misinformation and created by homophobic campaigns, etc., but it appears as if the majority disagrees with you. And to make this perfectly clear as well, this sounds like not a lot. A 5.4% drop, yeah, that's not enormous, that's not massive. Could this truly be the will of the public? That's a 5.4% drop in a company that hasn't seen a sales drop in over half a decade. A company that is one of the largest in America, that earns God only knows how many billions of dollars every year. A 5.4% wipeout of their capital and a 10.5% drop in their online segment is enormous. That is like having a quarter, well, not quite a quarter, but 15 odd percent of your business just wiped out in a single quarter. That is catastrophic. And unless they can fix that, it's only probably going to get a lot worse, because of course, that whole summer collection, that wasn't even fully in swing. Like, this quarter includes more than that. So the backlash is only likely to rise in terms of monetary damages to Twitter in the next quarter thereafter. And they know this themselves, as they also point out the strong reaction to this year's Pride assortment impacts sales during the quarter, Christina Hankton, Target's chief growth officer, has said. Target will adjust its Pride Month collection next year, including potential changes to timing, placement in stores, and the mix of brands it sells. Target knows exactly what caused this, and they are, to a degree to their credit, immediately trying to make changes. Now, whether or not those changes will be enough, or accurate, or good enough, to make it even more poignantly, that is a question. As there was also the, oh yes, here we go. Opponents also highlighted Target's products made by trans designer Eric Carnell, who often uses satanic symbols in his designs. Okay, alright. See, I am of the opinion that a lot of the there being satanic thing is probably overblown. I think the left is trying to be edgy in the only way that the left does know how to be edgy, trying to trigger Christian conservatives. That's why you see like stage shows at the Emmys with people dressing up like the devil or adding in satanic symbols. This is the left's attempt at being edgy, which it does about as well as it does memes, frankly. I don't believe that this has anything to do with actual Satanism. I don't believe that. But like, why would you put this on anything? Like, Satan has a somewhat negative reputation by and large. And overt association with him might not be a wise marketing decision. It's one of those things where when you start branding your products with satanic iconography and hiring people who do this as a statement to make products for you, you probably should expect a little bit of a negative reaction to it, as, again, the dude in the basement does tend to have a somewhat, dark reputation here and there in certain parts of America. Particularly as an American company as well. Oh, God. Half of me almost thinks they're doing this on purpose, and well, they kind of are, in that they probably misread their market radically. They thought that, doing stuff like this would get them good boy points, whereas, nah, not really. And of course, the problem as well is that when they put out statements like this, you're also going to have the left going, oh, hold on, you're giving in to the bigots? Well, now we're going to start boycotting you too. You have to choose. I've said this about Bud Light, and I will repeat it now for Target. You have to choose an audience. If you're going to engage in politics, and spoiler alert, maybe you simply shouldn't, maybe you should just sell stuff. But if you are going to engage, if you are going to try to be an ethical company, again, please don't, then you will need to pick a side, because left and right are radically opposed to one another today. There is no conciliation between the two. There is no middle ground whilst maintaining a position, because both view the other as literal Satan and will go as far as conceivably possible in order to tie you to the opposition and then beat you with the largest stick they can. And considering the state we are currently in, that is the correct thing to do. With the left having again and again demonstrated absolutely no scruples whatsoever in doing everything possible to push their agenda onto literal children in order to indoctrinate them, yes, you need to hit back as overwhelmingly negatively as possible. Hell, what do you think Antifa is? What do you think the 120% increase in looting is? That is the left striking back with everything they have in store, which tends to be overt violence as well, which should be another indication that maybe you should choose the right side of the political spectrum if you must absolutely get involved in this. Hell, I think professing neutrality might be the smarter option, and also the one most likely to garner you the most actual approval too, but hey, what do I know? Anyways, Target. First sales drop in a decade, due to selling obviously sexualized content to kids pushing a political agenda. On the bright side, this should be a fairly simple lesson even for a major corporation to learn. Don't do this next year. Oh boy. I tell you, next year's Pride Month will be very interesting, as I wonder if there will be even a single company that will retain their colored logo after seeing the devastation wreaked to two of the largest companies in the world, pretty much. Oh, but you get my drift anyways, over their pro-pride stance. Happy times. Until next time, I have been Arch. Thank you all very much for watching, and I hope to see you all again soon. Till then, have a good day.